class of 2020, you are some of my favorites. And I know I probably say that every single year, but y'all are real close to my heart. Did you know that when you were in 6th grade, some of y'all's people who had worked with you in children's ministry pulled me aside and said, Taylor, do you realize this is a very rambunctious class of boys? And can you handle it? When you came into youth, you were rambunctious because you were friends and you liked being together. And I think your class has paved a way for community that so many of you talked about in your video, that community is what mattered to you at West. And it's because y'all were friends and you were willing to be friends at West and outside of West. And because y'all are friends outside of this youth group. And it's really, really cool. You allowed yourselves to be friends and not be exactly the same. Each one of you in this class, especially those of you that have been here through 6th grade, y'all are so different. Your personalities are so different. But that's what's so cool, is that when you come here, you're allowed to be exactly who you are. And I really appreciate y'all for that. You also let me be exactly who I am. And you let me set a really high bar for you with the people that you're growing into being, and you met those expectations in leadership, in seeking God, and you listen to God every step of the way. And so I just want to say thank you. I like you guys a lot.
West has impacted me because before I found Wolfforth Methodist Church, I was constantly just going to church just on Sundays. I would go throughout the week without ever thinking about it again. But once I found Wolfforth, it became more than just Sundays. Like I would go on Wednesdays, and I found church more fun. Because before it was just church and I would go because I had to. Once I started coming here, because my friends would invite me, and I started coming, and I've only been here for about a year. And in just a year, I have found God in more ways than I thought possible. I have learned that faith is more than just religion. It has to be more of a relationship with God. It's being one-on-one, and no matter where you are, you can be with Christ. It's not just in church. I can be on a river, and I can be in the mountains, or I can be at home and I can be with God. And I'm going to the Coast Guard when I graduate, and I know that I can be with Him when I am there. Even when I'm busy with assignments and all kinds of stuff, I can still find time to be with God.
West has impacted me in a lot of different ways. One mainly is definitely all the leaders that have come through, and all the leaders that I've got to form relationships with. Obviously Taylor being one, because she's been here the longest. Dylan was here at the very beginning, and middle school. All the upperclassmen really impacted me and showed me what it meant to be a leader in a youth group, and what all this is about. Another big way that West impacted me is, one of the biggest ways is me playing guitar, because I remember being in 6th grade telling Taylor that I want to play on the youth band, and she was like, okay, go for it. You'll play, like you'll be on stage the next time we have West Wednesdays, like the next fall. So I remember taking home a bunch of sheet music, old sheet music, and practicing all summer long. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'd be playing guitar like I am right now, and that's a big part of my life. And so that's a big way it impacted me. Some advice that I would give to underclassmen at West would definitely be hang out here as much as you can. Don't take it for granted, because there's a lot of good people here, and you'll have a lot of good experiences if you hang out here and really enjoy all the moments. So if I was y'all, I would be up at the church as much as you can, just hanging out with all the people. So my favorite memory would definitely have to be my second trip to Haiti.
Me and Mason were going to preach at Kapafu, and so in order to do that, we had to wake up really early.
Prior to this, y'all have to understand that every day of the trip, the older people in our group would wake us up every morning. But they decided not to wake us up whenever we had to wake up like 6:15 or something to go to Kapafu, which is a fishing village.
Well, next thing I know, I'm waking up to Bailey leaning over me and with a smile, and he goes, I forget exactly what he says, but it was along the lines of like, okay, like we're about to leave. And I was like, what? And he's like, we're going to the boat right now.
We were staying in this second story place, and so Taylor came to the floor level, and she was like, boys, if you don't get down here right now, we're leaving you. Because y'all need to be there to preach, but if y'all aren't ready, then we're leaving you.
And like a blurry haze, a sweaty, blurry Haitian haze, I put on all my clothes and like we put on all our stuff and we went down there and we ran to the beach just to find everybody waiting on the boats.
Get down there, and Taylor ended up leaving the Domino's. So she made a mistake too. She had to go back. Or no.
So me and Caleb had to go back and like sprint there before the boat arrived to take everyone away.
It was real funny, and it's good that we can joke about it now.
Just from going like to a third world country and seeing how everything is and how blessed we are in the world was very enlightening, and how like I should try to have an impact on the people who don't have as much. It's also, if I get into the line of work that I want to do, which is like surgery, neurosurgery, I'd love to be able to go to third world countries on mission trips and be able to provide surgeries to these kids who don't have those opportunities. West has impacted me in so many ways. Just being here and all the memories I've made and the lessons I've learned are gonna be able to impact me later in life so long, and I couldn't imagine doing faith with any other community. It's definitely built my character. It's given me the opportunity to serve and grow within myself, become more social in ways to where I didn't overthink things before I talked, and so it's just given me more confidence in myself, I'd say. Make your time here impactful. There's only a certain opportunity that you're allowed to be here as a student, and so I'd try to make the most of it. Go to all the events you can, make all the memories, learn all the lessons that you can. Just enjoy yourself. I think if I had to give advice to the incoming freshmen, so JC and all your friends, I'd say life's gonna change a lot in these next few years. Y'all are gonna get all new experiences, gonna begin to step up. There's not really that many freshmen in the youth group, so y'all are gonna end up being some of the leaders in y'all's junior year, sort of in the case that we were. And I would just say to embrace that role and to go ahead and just give the youth group everything you have and everything you want, because you'll gain a lot from it.
West has impacted my life because it, quote unquote, kept me off the streets. It kept me hanging out with the right people and not hanging out with people like, not necessarily bad people, but people that didn't make the best decisions all the time. It started off as just hanging out Sunday and Wednesday nights to turning into like hanging out Sunday through Saturdays. My biggest piece of advice for the underclassmen is to surround yourself like with people in West, because there's no like bad people in West. You know, there's bad people outside of West, and then there's people in West. Not saying don't just hang out with people in West. West is like your core group for your like middle school through high school career. Don't get much better than that. The people here are just too cool to not hang out with anyway. Has anybody thanked like the leaders yet? Alright, well, I'll make it better. I just want to thank all the leaders that this senior class has had since our 6th grade year. It's been a lot, so I want to thank, I'll just go by name. I want to thank Dylan Cole, I want to thank Jake Jackson, Matt Martinez, Justin Regal, Bailey Fisher, Ryan Burke, and most importantly, Taylor Thompson. I just want to thank you guys. Without y'all, definitely don't think we would be where we are, for sure. Y'all have made like such a great impact on so many people that y'all haven't even realized, because it's like a tree. So like, it started off with Dylan and Taylor, and it just broke off. It's like you invested into us, and then we invested into more people. So without you even knowing it, y'all have probably helped more than like 1,000 people, like easily more than 1,000 people. And without y'all, those 1,000 people wouldn't be helped. And I just want to thank y'all for dealing with us all these years, keeping up with us, and never giving up on us even whenever we mess up, and just creating lifelong memories and lifelong friends along the way.